Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. The website, arhq.com. The world of TikTok has given us everything from food challenges, teaching us how to dance, to crazy, sometimes dangerous stunts. There's also plenty of videos on there dispensing money tips. Nolan, I've run across a few that a list of ones to avoid. What do you think of these? And can you add any others that you may have seen online?
Well, I guess there definitely is an explosion of advice that you get on social media. I probably should watch some more of those dance videos because I still have two left feet. But, a friend of mine, we go and we meet up at one of the local gyms, and we like to work out a couple days a week together. And, oftentimes we'll start off our workout on the treadmill, and that actually is oftentimes the topic of conversation that we'll have on the treadmill. He in particular likes to watch some different videos on TikTok, and he'll ultimately kind of share those different videos with me and say, hey, what do you think about this? And, should we get in on this, or what about this? And, one of the things that I would say is when you look at the advice that you can get from social media, there is some social media financial advice to avoid. So as an example, I am biased. I mean, here I am on social media. I'm also on, Toledo's largest talk station, 1370 WSPD. But I've been on the radio giving advice for 20 plus years. I've been licensed in the financial services industry for 30 years. So here's what I want you to do is when you get that social media advice, number one is I want you to make sure that you understand what is the methodology and the philosophy that's being used in your current investment portfolio. One of the great things about the military and joining the Marine Corps is the Marine Corps taught me discipline. And you want to stick to your discipline. So, those short little bursts of news articles or media attention is designed to kind of get in your face fast. And they're going to drive on your emotions of fear and greed. And those two decisions can be a painful lesson. By that, again, I mean, stick with your discipline when it comes to investing. So I'll give you an example of a company that he had sent over to me and said, hey, take a look at this company. I saw this video there on TikTok, thought the company was going to explode. There's 5 key disciplines that I have here at Retirement Guys Formula when it comes to investing. Number one, we like to look at companies that have high cash positions. Number two, we like to look at companies that have low debt. Number three, we like to look at companies that have high profit margins. Number four, we like to look at companies that are needed on a daily basis. And or number five, we like to look at companies that have a competitive advantage. So one of the companies that he sent over to me, I was going through those 5 criteria. And when I looked on the financial statement, this company was really about 3 months away from ultimately being bankrupt. They had really no cash on hand. So I answered him back and I said, just simply based upon the financial position of the company, I would not invest my own money or anybody's money in this company. Maybe it's going to be a big home run, but the problem is if they don't raise some money pretty quick, it could be a disaster. There's also a lot of news that you get in there, and today with anybody who has a camera or has a phone, they're able to create a TikTok video. So you want to understand the background of the person that's giving you advice. You can get advice off the internet from somebody who has zero financial experience at all. They might have some type of hot stock tip. They might really, again, not have any experience. More importantly, they don't know your individual situation. And looking at your individual situation and figuring out how to apply to your individual situation is probably one of the most important things. The other thing that I would say is a lot of times people will forward me these videos and say, hey, take a look at this. It's oftentimes talking about maybe the collapse of the United States, maybe the collapse of the U.S. dollar or the currency. And I say, well, flash forward to the end of the video. And at the end of the video, find out what they're selling.
Yeah.
So if they're talking about the end of the world coming for the U.S. currency, and oh, by the way, we sell gold. Well, now you know the reason why they're saying that. If they're talking about getting out of the stock market and, why buying an annuity is the best thing ever, and oh, by the way, they sell annuities, then you know what they're doing. If they talk about annuities are the worst thing ever and put all of your money in the stock market, and by the way, they'll charge you to manage your portfolio in the stock market, again, you know what they're doing. So you have to look at the end. I mean, even our videos as a licensed financial professional, my end goal is to get together with people and educate them into making smart financial decisions based upon their situation. And certainly certainly I get compensated for doing that, but it's only after I really understand what their unique situation is and not just give blanket advice that says everybody should do this. What you want to remember is that there is no Swiss Army knife of investing, meaning there's not one right financial product in every situation. Everybody's situation's a little bit different. So again, take a look at what they're selling. Next, you want to take a look at is how current is their information. I caught a headline when I was scrolling through a social media that I was on the other day, and the headline actually caught my attention, and it talked about, the imminent doom and gloom that was going to be coming on Wall Street. And I thought, well, right now with the market at an all-time high, that's kind of interesting. So I wanted to see, what this article talked about and see, what were they looking at. And so when I clicked on it and it went to the article, the one thing that I noticed is that the article was over a year old. And if we go back in time, if we look at 2023 turned out to be an absolutely fantastic year for most of the major market indexes. Again, here it is in the first part of 2024, and we have most major market indexes at record highs. So had you followed that current information a year ago, you would have missed out on all the rally. Whereas if you take that information and you apply today, that information really might be outdated. So pay attention to when you're getting that information and when that information was published. And then finally, again, figure out, kind of what their ultimate agenda is. So what I would say is social media, my advice is word of caution. If you find something that's good and relevant, shoot it to us. Give me a call. Send us an email. I'd be happy to give you my advice and feedback on, what looks right in your situation. And at the end of the day, what we want to try to do is we want to try to get you to a point where if you're going to look at TikTok or you're going to look at social media, you're looking at where your next travel destination site is. Mm-hmm. You're looking at things that bring enjoyment, not things that are causing fear and greed in your investment decision process, but figuring out, where you're going to spend your relaxing retirement at.
I'll have to admit there's a few times I've been on, TikTok or, various social media, and I find recipes that I like for food, things like that. When it comes to investing, here's the truth of it, and you mentioned it, Nolan, there's no accountability really at the end of the day. If they give bad information, if they're bad actors on there's no fallout for it. Longtime listeners and viewers of the program will know, there's disclaimers at the back because there is liability, there's credibility backed by what you say. And so it's important to keep that in mind as well. If it sounds too good to be true, you just want a little more information, Nolan has offered up the services of the team at America's Retirement Headquarters. All you need to do to reach out is give a call, 419-794-3030. You can also drop them a line on the website, and that is arhq.com.